Today I'll be having a full session on this popsicle board after more than 2 years of just skating egg boards. You already know how much I love egg boards, the benefits that come with riding them, and the amount of videos I've made praising them and recommending that everyone should try one. But today we're taking it back to the popsicle board I used to ride before converting to eggs to see the differences I feel throughout all the tests I'll run through. So let's head to the park and get a feel for this popsicle again, and then I'll get into the proper session so I can see how this popsicle deck skates compared to my beloved egg-shaped boards. I'm very surprised how quickly I got used to this board and how comfortable it's actually feeling. I think it's the extra length and the longer wheelbase that's made it feel a lot more comfortable to me and allowed me to get used to it so quick, but it is thinner than I'm used to, that's for damn sure. So I've been riding the 9.5 inch Heroin Razor eggs mostly since I started skating egg boards. That board's 9.5 at its widest in the middle. It's 32.25 inches long and the wheelbase is 14.25 inches. This anti-hero popsicle is half an inch smaller at 9 inches wide, but that is the whole way. It doesn't taper at all. It's 9 inches from truck to truck. It's also 1 inch longer at 33 inches long and the wheelbase is 15 inches like I said already. So these dimensions are much more suited to someone like me with my height, my weight and the style of skating that I do. I absolutely love these dimensions and I wish I could get the length and the wheelbase on some of my egg boards anywhere from a 9.5 to a 9.75 inch. They did drop their 10.25 inch long egg board which had the 15 inch wheelbase and the 33 length, which I was super hyped about, but that is still pretty hefty at 10.25 inches wide. I talked to Foz and he said that's kind of a one-off that Bale Gun Gary wanted to have as his pro model board, and that's when they made the Tall Boy egg, which was the same dimensions. I do understand why they don't make that a regular drop in their catalog though, because those dimensions are just way too big and way too hefty for most skaters to actually ride properly. Either way, I have gotten used to those shorter lengths and wheelbases with the trade-off of having a wider board in the center and being more comfortable and fun to ride. Now having that warm-up session here on this popsicle board though, I got used to this so quick and decided I'll give you guys an update and get into the proper session because I feel like I can skate normally on this thing. The biggest things I've noticed so far though is how wide the kicks feel. I'm used to the tapered kicks of being more pointy and being the smallest end of the board and the middle being the widest point. This is full the whole way through, so there's not much taper. It's a pretty full nose and tail, so it took a while to get used to that. They feel really wide, these kicks. The front of my board feels a little heavier too because the longer lever now, the wheelbase is longer and the length is longer, so as I'm popping I can feel a bit of extra weight at the front, but it feels good, like I'm catching the front of my foot and it's just helping me get my board up a bit more. I felt that as soon as I rode the long egg as well. But the biggest thing that I noticed, and it took me so long to get used to, is the board being straight in the middle. It took so long for my eyes to understand that it wasn't bowing in the middle. I'm used to my egg boards bowing out in the center and being wider with the kicks being tapered. This being full the whole way through, looking at the center of it, even though I know it wasn't, it felt like the board was scooping in like that and being really thin in the middle. It was so weird for my eyes to see this at first. But now I've gotten used to the look of it. So I'm going to get back into the session and go over all the tricks that, in my opinion, are made easier from riding egg boards, like them spinning faster and scooping faster because of the tapered kicks, the shorter wheelbase, keeping the weight in the center of the board so your rotational tricks work better, slappy grinds work better, in my opinion, because of the tapered nose. It doesn't really get in the way so you can get up onto the ledge easier, and a whole bunch of different benefits I like skating rails and ledges on the egg boards. So let's get back into the session to see if I've been right about egg boards for these last 2 years and them helping you skate better, or if these popsicle boards are just as good. That crook popover took way longer than I expected and so much of my energy. So before I go, because it's still freezing cold out here, I'm gonna try and do a few flip tricks up the Euro gap here. I need to test the flips. I did do 3 kick flips in a row in the warm up, but they all sucked. So I'll start with the good kick flip, hopefully. I'll take that one. Oh, no backup. That tray flip was a lot harder than I expected to get it to rotate because it's longer. So I want to see if big spin will be just as much trouble because that's a rotation too. I'm trying so hard. I tried so hard and that felt better, so I'm taking that one, 100%. But yeah, scoops don't work as well on the full kicks. Look horrible, but it's fun and I want to get it anyway. It'll be my last trick. It's getting too cold out here. Oh my god! It's getting cold and dangerous out here. I'll take that. Session over. No slappies and no transition skating tonight though. I actually had a way better session than I could have expected on this popsicle board and I enjoyed riding it a little more than I actually wanted to. I expected to hate it. Now a lot of this comes down to the dimensions of the board because it is 33 long and 15-inch wheelbase. For my size and me being comfortable on a skateboard, those dimensions are perfect for me. So I got used to it instantly. Everything felt pretty normal. Besides at the beginning with the full kicks and the board that was straight in the middle, it looked to me like it was bowing in, like I said. Besides the look of it and the feel of the kicks, I got used to it pretty much instantly. And all of my tricks throughout the whole session felt normal, as if I was on my traditional egg board. Traditional to me. Until it came to the flip tricks. So like I was updating as I was doing it, the tray flip was so hard to scoop and get it to come around. And the big spin was the hardest. I could not rotate and spin the board at the same time. It was so hard to get that big spin around. I experienced a bit of this when I was riding the 10.25 inch wide long egg deck. It was a lot heftier when it came to flip tricks, and doing the tray flips and big spins I had to put a bit more pressure into it. But even at a 10.5 inch width it was a lot easier to do than this 9-inch deck because it still had the tapered kicks because it was an egg board. This popsicle board with the full kicks and the long wheelbase and length was so hard to rotate and get around. I did end up getting a good tray flip and a decent big spin that I was happy with, but I had to put in so much work to get those tricks. So everything else felt great besides those rotational tricks. So I got used to it pretty quick because of the long dimensions, but I did feel like it was too thin for me. 9 inches wide isn't small, but the smallest board I've ridden for a while is a 9.25 inch egg board. I got used to that pretty quickly and only had one session on it, but that was still smaller than I want to ride. So when it comes to the popsicle, everything about the length and wheelbase, like I keep saying, was great, but the 9-inch width is just feels too small for me these days. But I have just purchased a 9.5 inch popsicle board. I'm going to be trying that out soon, and that has a shorter length and shorter wheelbase, but because it's 9.5 inches wide, for a popsicle that should make it feel a lot more comfortable with the width for me. But I feel like if I was going to ride a popsicle long term, it would be that 9.5. But that is still very early to say because I haven't even skated it yet. So I actually had a way better session than I expected on this board tonight. I'm actually really keen to skate the 9.5 inch popsicle next, which you guys can stay tuned for because I'm going to set it up pretty soon. But to get a look at the 10.25 inch wide long egg deck with the same 15 inch wheelbase and 33 inch length that I rode, check out this video right here.